Hi, I'm Peter.
And I'm Leia.
We're from July Talk, and you're watching So Fucking Cool.
All right, So Fucking Cool here with July Talk. How you guys doing?
Not too bad. It's good to be back in Buffalo.
Yeah, feeling good.
Now, we're halfway through the tour, and it's just one of your first American headlining tours, is that correct?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, we've done bar tours before, but this is the first time that we're playing kind of bigger clubs, and it's been going great. It's been really fun.
It's also the last tour kind of promoting our first album before the next one comes out. Yeah, it's like a big, I don't know, victory lap, a last hurrah.
Right.
One of those things.
So one of those.
See, now, what I like about you guys is that you went ahead, you had a big release, and then you went ahead and re-released it for the American fans. I mean, there's been a couple of major Canadian bands that made that mistake. I mean, you look at Anvil, you look at the Sheepdogs, where they said, you know what, we're not going to let you guys have our stuff and push it through. And you guys went ahead, and it's steaming momentum for you over here.
Well, it was important to us to finish releasing that first record. I think that we didn't really feel like it was complete until we got it out in the other territories, meaning the States, meaning Europe, meaning Australia, and we didn't really have too much of an interest in jumping into a second record, feeling like we were taking this big step as a band and not giving the opportunity for people in the US and in Europe to take that step with us and see that first album and introduce ourselves. And so we kind of dealt with that, and it took patience for sure because we were ready to move on, but I think that I'm really proud of that patience, and now I think with the new record I feel like we all kind of know who we are a bit more, and I feel like we're really ready to take that step.
It's just completely necessary to have an album out if you're going to be touring somewhere, because even the first couple of times we came to America, I think the first time we came, because we weren't signed with anyone, we were allowed to sell our Canadian album, which was fine. And then the second time we came back, it was like because we were waiting for things to kind of go through, and like being in Europe at certain times where it's just like you can't give people music. It's like it's just a bummer for everyone. So you're playing the shows, but they're like, can I have this album? Or like, steal it. I don't know. Go and find it on the internet.
Let's talk about your stage performance. I mean, it's one of the best that I've ever seen. The interaction between you two, it's. Are you guys together, or are you guys? I mean.
We work on the stage show like crazy, like we really are on each other, and we're trying our best to like make it kind of grow organically. We don't really talk too much about our relationship, friendship, whatever it is, because it's kind of constantly evolving, and the more you talk about it, the more it kind of makes it a little bit fake and put on,
Right.
And so we're just trying to kind of keep things as organic as possible. And I think we live by like the rule of never say no to each other on stage, like really trust each other and allow each other to kind of embarrass ourselves and be vulnerable and be human and be kind of a bit awkward, because that's what human beings are. No one really wants to watch that like polished run around like pop stadium sensation. Like, I don't know, we're far more interested in the vulnerability behind kind of humanity and I don't know, being awkward and being weird and just like being uncomfortable on stage.
Definitely, I'd say it's definitely a connection and a friendship and like a working relationship that neither of us have ever experienced before, because we're just like, we like live like on top of each other, like along with the rest of the band. It's just kind of like constantly writing, constantly playing, constantly just like,
Well, I'm glad to see that you two have a balance in that aspect. I mean, you see some bands that go ahead and they've been on the road together and being in such quite tight quarters, it's like, I fucking can't stand this person. Like, you know what I mean? But you guys have it balanced out where I've seen you guys go out and you're doing things together besides what's going on.
I mean, we don't fight a lot, but we really like it. It's pretty seamless. I mean, there's like obviously times where tension, but tension almost always comes from disagreeing on an artistic step or an artistic decision, because we're both really stubborn, as is every member of the band, and just want the art to be as good as it can be and represent us personally, and so most of the fights would come from that.
This question goes for you. You actually get out into the crowd and you interact with them. Now, with yesterday's tragedies and what went on at an actual Eagles of Death Metal show there, is that going to make you more reluctant to go ahead and be in? Because you never know now. I mean, such a random occurrence. Does that make you as a performer like more like, I don't know if I want to go out and do such a thing?
It's absolutely devastating, but at the same time, it's like we all have to keep living our lives, and that sort of thing could happen anywhere and does happen anywhere, and it's completely tragic, and it's there's nothing more horrifying in the entire world, but you can't let it. I mean, I think America is like in general a place that's kind of pretty good about moving on from tragic events and kind of saying like, well, we have to keep living our lives, we have to keep doing what we do. To live in fear and to live in without trust is like, the only thing worse maybe than than experiencing something like that. I don't know. You can't you still gotta wake up and breathe and do it.
Right.
Whatever. So.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that it's not going to hinder your performance and what you're going to do. I mean, it's a shame that everything happened the way it did, but you guys as musicians got to keep on pushing. You're going to take that chance regardless. You never know. You know what I mean?
You can't get that. You're never going to be able to burn that image out of your brain of what happened. And I think it's probably one of the most horrifying and scarring images that I've ever had, just imagining that what happened. But like Leah said, I mean, the whole point of terrorism is to take away the freedom that you have, and so you don't want to let that change things. And I think that rock and roll is supposed to be love, and it's supposed to be happiness. And who are we if we're to shy away from rock and roll when everyone in the audience is looking to us to tell them it's okay? Anyway.
I really like Peter said that yesterday on stage, that rock and roll is love. I mean, all that stuff happened during the day, and there were some fights breaking out and stuff, like just stupid shit that's just like so minuscule and idiotic. But he just said like rock and roll is love, guys. Like, cut that out. We're all here to have a good time. And it's like, in terms of, when you think of love as like one of the greatest powers on earth, and it's and the opposite of that being fear as the other, most powerful thing on earth. Like, choose love. I'd rather choose love.
One thing that I see you guys did is recently there was an election over in Canada, and you guys went ahead and said, you vote, we're going to give you a phone call. How did that process go? I mean, obviously, I'm sure every fan in the world was like, my chance to talk to you guys, I'll definitely go out and put the extra effort.
Still very much going. We're still in the process. We decided that any voter under 25 could send us their phone number and a shot of that they had kind of shared on their social media saying go vote. And we would call them personally to thank them for doing so. So now we've done about 400 calls. 450 calls. We probably have about 350, 400 to go. But we work through them. I mean, it's to be honest, you sit down for like a 6-hour day in the van or whatever, and you try to get as many as you can done. Unfortunately, obviously, we're very busy on tour. There's not a lot of time, and so we're just trying our best to get through it. And we hope we're going to try to get it done before the end of this tour.
And we're super happy about it as well, because I mean, we know that voter turnout was going up no matter what in our country, because I think people kind of just have certain wants and needs that maybe weren't being met, and it's just so important for everyone to have their voice heard, and it feels really good to be able to have 780 people to call who were part of that. Yeah.
Very cool. Now, we're at the tail end of the tour here, but it's not going to stop for you guys. You guys actually are going to go back into the studio to record the next, or are you guys finishing?
Oh yeah, we're all finished with that. When we get home, we start with the video process. So we make all of our own videos in July Talk, and so when we get home, Josh will go down to LA to do the mixing with Sean Everett, and then we will start on the first video, producing this first video in Toronto with Jared Rabb directing. And he did the From the Road series that we did, and he's done a lot of work with us. So
Made some of our favorite music videos.
yeah, he's the best. Yeah, and one of our best friends. But anyway, so until February, it's like creating content for the record, and then starting in February, we'll probably start going back on the road a bit, and then heavily starting in kind of March.
It's going to be a different process this day and age, though. You know what I mean? There's no real channel that's going to go ahead and share your videos. I mean, unless you get a commercial is almost what bands want to shoot for, because you know you're going to get out in the media that way. But Spotify, downloads, YouTube, you know what I mean? It's a new approach for you guys. So it's...
To an extent, I think that you just need to make something good. It's the bottom line. It's like if your video is innovative and people haven't seen it before, and the song's good, it will get shared. And it's never been easier to share content and spread something globally. And I think, I don't know, I find it really exciting. I mean, back in the day, to get a video on MTV, you had to sell a lot of fucking records. And now I think for a band like us that in the States is still on its way up, it's so helpful for us to just have something out there that's new, that it's really good. And I think that on the first record, we were trying to make videos for pennies because we didn't have any money, we didn't have anything, and so we were borrowing favors, everything. Now we have a little bit of more resources to work with, and so we think that we should continue to exist, kind of pushing our envelope and doing our the best videos we can make. And there's some of the videos we're gonna make I'm so excited for. So all this to say is, you know, if you have a moderate amount of success across the United States and those people just help out and share that video, then it's never been easier for the band to get more exposure from visual content just through YouTube.
People want to follow up, they want to see those videos, they want to know when the release is coming out. Social media platform, are you guys all over it? Is there certain aspects that you want to focus on? I mean, it's so hard to tell these days because tomorrow you never know what new fucking platform all the kids are going through. But for you guys, what's the biggest push for you?
I mean, I guess most recently we needed to get the word out about this voting campaign as quickly as possible to have it reach as many people as possible. And so for us, making a hashtag and then just pushing it on our Instagram and Twitter and Facebook caused it to spread pretty rapidly. Yeah, those are the ones. I mean, we don't really know how to use Facebook because neither of us have personal accounts. But we have it, and we hear what's going on it and stuff like that. But our Twitter and our Instagram are the things that we feel kind of more comfortable using at this point. But I know people are starting to get Snapchat, even big. Yeah, I thought it was more of something that friends shared with people, but I think now more artists are getting it as well, and I don't really know. I kind of want to stay away from it.
It's so hard to get used to one, and then the next thing it's coming out. It's just well, aren't you using this one today?
Yeah. I mean, I think we should go back to MySpace. That was easy and simple.
I don't know, that was so slow. We're trying to upload a song to MySpace. It took forever.
Yeah, for sure. But what I'm asking you guys, though, people want to know about it. They want to go to it. Where are they?
Yeah, the biggest thing for us is Twitter and Instagram. I think that's where the band. That's just at July Talk. Yeah. Okay. And the band kind of personally does those, and then the Facebook is done by our label, and it's also a really great resource for tons of stuff. Yeah. So we like to keep things involved. I mean, the biggest thing, like I said, is we're all based on visual content, and so it's just being able to share, right? Having somebody like something and then being able to share it with their friends.
Perfect. And I'm assuming that we can go on julytalk.com, and there's going to be links to every one of those.
Absolutely,
yeah. Totally.
That, and there's also a full road series tour diary video. It has 4 episodes, 10-minute episodes that was made by this director, Jared Rabb, and that's on JulyTalk.com too, and it's incredible. So we feel so lucky that was made.
Yeah, that's a unique experience too. I mean, we talked about that a little bit last time we were together, but letting fans get a little bit more to know you and see what life on the road is actually about. I mean, it's a lot harder than everyone. It's not the 80s anymore. You know what I mean? Motley Crue's not out there on a tour bus and snorting.
It's not like Nashville.
Yeah, right.
It's not like the show Nashville. There's no bus.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking forward to the new release, and I'm hearing it's early next year. Is that?
Yeah, we're hoping to get the first single out early next year, and then it'll probably come out in the spring. We're really excited about it. It's definitely a huge step for us, so I'm hoping that people connect with it as well.
And there's going to be another tour to push.
We'll be touring the shit out of the States all through 2016.
One last question before I let you go is that you guys were supposed to play the Voodoo stage on the last day, and unfortunately the rain, I mean, it's got to be such a disappointing thing to be able to play the big festival, but you guys went ahead and played the House of Blues, is that right?
We were super lucky. We had driven to New Orleans and left at 5 a.m. to get there by noon to like load in, and got there and kind of suspected that maybe it would be canceled, and they were just like, yeah, sorry, the whole festival's been canceled today. And then we kind of just put some feelers out, and we were like, we're here, we don't want to not play in New Orleans, like, come on. And so, yeah, and I don't really even know how that happened.
Actually, Jared Rabb's cousin was the stage manager at House of Blues, and we got in touch with him. I had talked to our agent, and he had talked to every promoter in town, and luckily enough, they put us on a bill. And it was the only show of the night, so it ended up getting packed up, and just like, it was definitely our best New Orleans show to date. It was amazing.
It was so fun.
But I felt terrible that the last day of the festival did get canceled, because it was going to be really fun, but it ended up being a really great time for us.
Glad you guys had a good show. I'm looking forward to tonight's show. You guys got a few tour dates left, and then early next year we're going to be hoping to see you guys all over the place one more time. And people want to follow up, they want to know more about you, they're going to go straight to JulyTalk.com and your Twitter, your Facebook, and who knows what kind of shit you guys are going to get into. You know, you might be a Snapchat or Periscope fucking this week. You never know. So.